Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu
Assalamu
alaikum.
alaikum.
Welcome to Mind Spark Creations, where we let the spark in our mind create a new reality. All praises is due to Allah. Once again, guess what time it is? It's Thinking Thursday. That's
That's
what I'm
right.
talking
Thinking
about.
Thursday,
It is
y'all.
Thinking Thursday, family. You already know we got a special brother in the building, Brother Hannibal Muhammad. Go ahead and call somebody. Go ahead, share. Get ready. Come on and get ready and bring our brother on with a great round of applause. You know what I
All right.
mean? That's what I'm talking about. Get ready to bring our brother on. That's what I'm talking about. You know, this brother, man, powerful brother. This brother's an author. He's a photographer. He's a social media guru. This man is on top of it. You know,
And
he was
because we are
born.
celebrating Black men this month,
That's
he's
right.
also a father.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. That's why he walking in the footsteps of his father. Okay,
Right.
all praises is due to Allah. So we are excited. We are excited to be with our brother today. But before we jump into that, you already know we got a few things for you to support. So just give us a moment as we pull it up.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call Digital Edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
That's right, family. That's right. We definitely want you to subscribe to the Final Call newspaper. That news we can truly use, unbought, uncompromised. Do you have yours? What you waiting for? What you waiting for? That's right. We gonna get it to you. If you need it physical, you know you already can get that. But we got it digital. You can take it with you on your phones, on your devices, on your computers. So when somebody say, "Show me the proof," and you can pull out that article, check this out. You can email it to them. You can shoot it to them. We doing it in modern day times. All praises due to Allah. So if you are not a subscriber to the baddest, boldest, coldest newspaper on the planet Earth, we need you to go ahead and tap in. All praises is due to Allah. So you can do that by going to finalcalldigital.com, just as you heard. Okay. And then also, if you like my wife and you need the physical copy, you just got to have it. You just got to have that physical copy. And you can do one or two things, and that is either go ahead on and get with a brother on the street or at your door that's gonna be knocking in the neighborhood near you, or you can do one of my favorite things, and that is adopt a Muslim. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. Go ahead and let that beautiful brother know that, man, I need that Final Call each and every week. Don't miss a week bringing it to my door. Okay, so that's one of my favorite things to say. Adopt you a Muslim today. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Okay. Okay. Ooh, sorry about that. Move your mic. All right, family. All right. We want you to strengthen your immune with Pax Immune. That's right. We want you to strengthen your immune with Pax Immune, and we are proud distributors of the Pax Immune. This herbal tincture right here helps to modulate your immune system. That's right. It helps to modulate your immune system, and there is much research on it. This is something that you would find based in Cuba. You would find it in China. This is what they're using to help them right now. So you got an opportunity to get it from us right here. You don't have to travel all the way over there. We right here, and we could get it knocking at your door through the mail. You know what I mean? So go ahead and get yours today. You can do that by going to our online store. If you don't know where it is, we're going to go ahead and put it in the chat so that you do know. Just give your brother 1 second. All right. That's right. That's right. You can go ahead and get yours right there. Just tap in right there. Then go ahead and get your Pax Immune today. Get your Pax Immune today.
Worldwide, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download the Final Call Radio app and take us everywhere. On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button. Or finalcallradio.com. Final Call Radio. The official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
I love it.
All right, family. That's how easy it is to hear from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All you got to do is download the app on your phone. So when you at work and you want to sit on your lunch and hear some inspiration and get some divine revelation, go ahead on and put it on. Just download it right on your phone, on your tablet. You know what I mean? But also, if you just don't have your tablet with you, it's all right. If you got a computer, go to finalcall.com, click on the Final Call Radio right there, and you can still get to it and listen, all right? So we'll get to the last thing we got for you in a minute. We want to go ahead on before it get too late. We want you to get your mind ready for our brother. So we got something special for him. You know how we do it. We make songs around here for our people. So we got something for our brother. We hope he like it. We gonna play it. We gonna play it in its entirety this morning so we can get your mind ready.
Gotta wake that body up, work that mind up.
That's what I'm talking about.
No,
I think that was a great intro song for our brother. I think that was a great intro song for our brother. Our brother is all the way live. You feel me? I think that was a great intro.
Okay.
We also want to bring our family over here for melanated people. So we got melanated people in the building. I am your brother, Brother Carthrell Muhammad. This is my beautiful wife, Sister Natalie Muhammad. We got Brother Jamie in the building over there. We got Brother Jamie in the building over there. And this is your brother, Brother Hannibal, the brother that we are blessed to speak with today. That's what I'm talking about. This is our brother. Wait a minute. We got to let y'all know one reason that he here before he get on and tell us about himself. It's this book right here. It's this book right here. Look, let me just tell y'all something. That what we read is awesome. It is absolutely awesome. Now, I'm not saying that because that's my brother. I'm saying because he had me thinking from the first page. I got to the second chapter. Okay? Not because I didn't want to read it, but because the brother was dropping some heavy jewels and it made me, this is a reflection book. My brother said this was a self-reflection. Absolutely right. It is absolutely right. So I am telling you that if you don't have yours, you need to get yours. This is awesome. We're going to talk about that in just a minute, family. So all praises due to Allah. Welcome, my brother to Mind Spark Creations. We are blessed and we are honored that you are in the building today. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Walaikum salam. I'm truly humbled, excited to be on today. I'm happy to see you two and y'all beautiful faces. I mean, y'all got me out. Y'all got me ready to go outside and start dancing and taking on the world now. I'm just telling you.
Right.
Yeah, man. I put that beat together. I said my brother is modern up the beat up tempo. I said I gotta do something for him. So that was what I came up with for you. I hope you like that piece.
Oh man, yes, sir. Absolutely. All day, Chief. All day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My brother, well, we want to start like this. We usually go here. This is always pretty much our first question, and that is, brother, go ahead and let the people know who you are, what you do in the universe, so that way we don't have to even have that conversation. You know what I mean? They already know exactly what time it is or what you're doing, and then we can jump on with this book, okay?
Yes, sir, man. All praises be to Allah. My name is Brother Hannibal Muhammad. I am a father. I am a husband. I am a son. And foremost, I am a brother and a servant. I am a new author of my new book, In My Father's Steps, as we'll be discussing today. I'm a photographer, a designer. I have over 10 years of banking experience. I have over 20 years of group home behavior health experience. I love working. I love helping. I've been blessed to touch the hem of the man of God's garment. You know, I'm a hard worker, just trying my best to help extend that grace and mercy of Almighty God Allah as much as I can. I am also a student assistant minister here in the city of Phoenix, Arizona, under the local representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, student minister Abdul Iman Muhammad. And I'm the person who is responsible to cover down on that brother to ensure that there's no weaknesses being shown. So that's what you're looking at. You're looking at a brother striving to take over the world, brother. It's our time, Chief. It's our time.
Go ahead, bro.
Oh, praises be to Allah. I'm telling you, I'm about to have me out here walking on these. Let me stop. See, let me stop. You get me started.
Come on, man. That's exactly why we brought you in the building, because we already know. You know, so brother, let me drop this one on. I want to let everybody greet you. Then we're gonna move forward, okay? You got your mic?
Yes. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
It is truly a honor and a privilege to have you on today. Just seeing your beautiful smile, brother, and that energy that comes from you. You definitely in that mix of people who gonna be taking over the world.
Come on now, come on.
Because I see the spirit of God just oozing out of you.
I'm about to put on my glasses. He got so much brightness.
One of the things that the people know about me is, and this show is, it's all about the kingdom of God.
Yeah.
And that's what we do every Thinking Thursday is we want to get closer to the kingdom of God and doing our part, doing what we can to make that happen. So the fact that you took the time, and your energy to write a book to help guide us, through the matrix, which we find ourselves in, and reading the book, we're finding so much value in your words, in your experience in life. And I'm looking forward to digging in a little bit more. So I'm going to let my son speak to you, and then we'll get started.
Oh, man.
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Hannibal.
Walaikum salam. What's going on, Chief?
He got in early this time.
You know it. But I'm doing good. I read as we were reading some of your book. I definitely I agree with you on all your points, but definitely in the youth. And my dad was just making me think about something. How can we make people join the FOI? And the MGT as well. How can we make them do that? The only way you could do that is you have to have communities where those values are already being practiced.
Yes.
All
yes.
Right.
Yes,
is that a question for me? Was that a question?
Not yet.
I think he wanted to stimulate your mind.
He already did.
Stimulus package. So, brother, look, now this is the first question we got. Before we get too heavy, we want to surface dwell a little bit and give some inspiration to those that's listening. Brother, I've wrote a couple of books. This is your first one. What did it take, brother, for you to discipline yourself to sit down and get this book done? What was your inspiration, your motivation? How did you keep yourself at your computer without falling off, brother, and get it done? How did you do that?
That's a beautiful question. I won't say it was easy because it's far from that. It was far from that. Let's go to the root though. The root of this is to help all humanity by leading us to the man of God.
Yes.
And in order to help him, we have to be able to help ourselves to understand who we are and whose we are. So as Allah was blessing me to go through this process, I will find myself in periods of uncertainty. I will find myself in periods of being nervous and fearful and even making statements. Who would want to hear from me? Little old Hannibal. What, really? I'm not worthy. But what really helped me was the team around me, as they would be transcribing information and content that I would give them. And they would tell me stuff like this: brother, I was having a bad day. I was stressed. I was going through this. And when I got to working on your stuff, you were hitting things of what I was going through, and that was opening me up, and it was helping me overcome what I was going through. And I can't wait till this book comes out. And I was like, what? Are you sure? No. And because of that, because of things like that, that would actually get me going to want to do more in this process. So it kept me motivated through the process of being nervous, being unsure. There's a beautiful book by a guy named Robert Greene. He has a book called 48 Laws of Power. He also has a book that he did a partnership with 50 Cent called The 50th Law. in the 50th law, they talk a lot about boredom and us tackling the boredom phase. See, a lot of times we want the finished result. So if we learn to love the process, and as we go through the process, we will find ourselves in periods of boredom, of uncertainty, of overwhelmness. But if we take our time and work through it, then we will find the finished result actually being achieved. So what I had to do was take these big goals and break them down to really small goals and little checkpoints and teach myself to do something every single day. And as I did that, I started to see, as the minister teaches us, the things that may seem impossible as we step out on faith. As we step out on faith, Allah will show us that the impossible is actually possible. So as I got closer to the finish line and I received the remaining pieces of the transcriptions, I looked up and said, "Oh, Allah, like this thing is almost done.
Come on, man.
This is almost a finished product." And that excited me. See, I don't really care, in all honesty, I don't care about the sales. That doesn't motivate me. What motivated me, I was already motivated. What motivated me was to know I had a completed project, to know that I was able to start something and see it all the way through to the finish line. That's what actually got me motivated.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Some feedback. I don't know.
Got to turn it. Okay. Oh, that might be cute. Okay.
Is that me? Am I echoing?
Yeah, I think that's you, man. Yes, sir. Okay. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay. So family, you got heavy in this book. You got heavy in this book. You got heavy in this book, man. And I mean, like I said, brother, again, we got to the second chapter of the book, not because we didn't want to read it, but because we were actually engaging with things that you had said in the book. And it was like, wait a minute, let's stop right there. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? It's that kind of book. You know what I mean? I know that Brother Jabril said first you should read it all the way through and then come back. But it wasn't like that.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't like that. You know what I mean? It really wasn't able to be like that for us this time.
Well, I think that it is a family book.
Yes.
It's a book that a family should read together because, and I do definitely want you to get a little bit more into the first chapter at least and giving us some insight, about, why you wrote it and why you expressed it the way that you did. But, family is really the core of a nation. And in our communities, how do, we got to build them because we know that we have so many dysfunctional families because of the way things are in America in general. Right. So to have the family sit down and read it together, then it's like, oh, let me look at myself. Let me see what I can do differently, so that we don't continue this cycle. Because as I was, talking with my husband, I was raising 2 foster children, 2 young girls. And when they first came in, they loved the nation. They, took to it right away. But them teenage years and that peer pressure, it just, stole them away, So I think we do have to build a better structure for our children. So if you can get a little bit into why you wrote that first chapter the way that you did.
Absolutely. Let me first say this. We're taught that when you look at structure, it goes Allah, man, woman, children. It also goes Allah, man, family, nation. So if we want to lift up our nation, we must lift up the family, because by nature, lifting up the family lifts up the nation. And if we were, as registered members of the Nation of Islam, Brother Student Minister Abdul Muhammad out of Chicago made mention of this one Savior's Day. If we were just to go and get all of our family, youth, children, the whole yards that were in the nation, that grew up in the nation, and brought them back, we will swell up the ranks just off that itself.
Wow.
The challenge, which is something I experienced as a nation baby, as a child, a baby in the nation, the parents will gear things towards the children, the younger children, because they want to keep you occupied.
Right.
As they're occupied learning the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad given to us by the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. But as a child starts to grow, we see the influences becoming heavier and stronger. And as a nation, we don't always put things in place to cater the growth. So what winds up happening, I found myself, as many of my peers who fell out as teenagers, we found ourselves sitting in a lecture hall or a sanctuary, bored. The younger children got something lined up, the adults have something lined up, and we're sitting here hearing lectures and hearing back in slavery. Back in my days,
Right.
even now, when you hear certain lectures, you'll hear, back at the Million Man March. This generation behind me don't know anything about a Million Man March. So what happens is there becomes a disconnect. And because there's a disconnect, we wind up losing that generation. So what happens, we have to find a way to gear our conversations, our focus, to help protect and even balance them, because they're going to be influenced by the world. But what are we doing to put in place to ensure that they know that we can compete with what the world is offering them? I love basketball. I love football. I love playing video games. But there wasn't things going on that catered to my desires in a mosque or a church. So we find ourselves falling apart. Now, at the same time, as parents, as we talk about in chapter 1, as parents, we're very, very busy. We work 9 to 5s, 9 to 9s, 9 to 12s, and we put in all these hours at work, trying and striving to bring money back into our homes to provide for our families. There is to the point that the mother and the father are out of the home, and the children are coming home from school to an empty house.
Right.
An empty house with social media, with television, with internet, with other influences on them. Before they even get those influences, we are sending them into the enemy's place of education, where they're getting 8 of 9 hours of the enemy planning their influences on the children, plus the other children's influences from their household. Then they come home. So you already got 8-9 hours. Then you come home to another 3 to 4 hours of influences from what's in your home. And then the parent comes home, and I'm too tired to spend time with my child. I'm too tired to invest energy in my child. Do not bother me when I walk home. Go away, go away. We shoo them away when the child actually desires to have that connection with the parent. But too many of these, the child stops coming to you, asking you for guidance. The child stops coming to you, wanting to engage in that relationship. So what happens? They seek the understanding from their peers, and their peers haven't experienced anything yet. So you're learning about sex from your peers. You're learning about drugs from your peers. You're learning about social engagements from your peers, but they don't know more than you know. They just heard, seen, experienced something small about it. So you're taking their influences, and then we look up and our child is now on drugs. Our children are now sexually active. Our children are now involved in gang activity, and we're trying to figure out, where did the change happen? How did it happen? And how did we miss it? Well, we know as a mother's connection to a child, a mother knows her son. A mother knows her daughter. A mother carried that child for 9 months in their womb. There's a certain connection there, but because the mother is so busy now, the father is so busy, we miss those signs. You mentioned having 2 daughters from foster care. Well, I run group homes. I work with children. I work with youth all the time in group homes, and you can see when they're coming into the group home, there's already a disconnect. They don't trust because they've been done wrong. So it's my responsibility and my team's responsibility to break the ice, build the trust, build a connection really quick, and be able to get in there where they feel comfortable expressing things to us, where we can help tackle those challenges they're walking in.
Right.
That's what's talked about in this book.
Yes.
Now, brother, absolutely beautiful. We just want to give a shout out to Nicholas Thomas. Who else we got on right now?
I think that's it for now.
That's all we see. We got a few.
No,
people.
we got several people on. Well, shout out to everybody that's tapping in with us. Shout out to everybody that's tapping in with us. We got questions. You want to ask the brother some questions. I know a lot of us, we got books in us. We got audio books in us. We got all this kind of stuff. This brother has done it. This brother has published it. This brother is doing well with his book. All praises is due to Allah. So here's your opportunity to ask somebody that is doing it exactly what it takes. Now I'm gonna ask this, then I'm gonna turn it over to my son, because I found this was like really powerful what you talked about. You brung in our lessons, question and answer number 8, talking about the social equality. Now you made a very, very powerful statement that just stuck with me and hit me hard. You said, you said socialist means, I'm going to read the whole part and then I will jump into what you said. And in that question, it said, why does the devil keep our people apart from his social equality? Answer, because he does not want us to know how filthy he is and all his affairs. He is afraid when we learn about him, we will run him from among us. Socialist means to advocate a society of men, a group of men for one common cause. Equality means to be equal in everything. You said, is that different now? Actually, it is. We are part of his socialist equality. We're so engulfed in his social equality that we have now become part of his filth, all of his affairs. He didn't just bring it straight out on us. It was through phases. So can you kind of elaborate on examples of us being a part of that socialist equality?
I didn't catch the question. It buffered for a moment.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said, can you kind of elaborate on us being part of that socialist equality as you mentioned in your book? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. And thank you for this question. So if we look at, and I don't want to, well, if we look at Lil Nas X, no shots at that young brother, as that brother is striving to be successful in what God has blessed him as a gift and a talent. But he's also being influenced by their social equality by dropping a devil blood shoe. If we look at our beautiful artists and women artists like a Nicki Minaj, we look at a Megan Thee Stallion, beautiful artists, and lyric geniuses. But look at the content and what they're feeding, the Cardi B and what they're feeding into our children. It's not their fault. I want to make sure we understand. I'm not putting blame on them. These are the hidden hands behind them that's controlling that social equality and influencing them to do these particular things.
Go ahead.
Then if you look at a beautiful movie called Get Out,
Go ahead.
in that movie, In that movie, Get Out, it's in the book. Yes, in
It's
that
in there.
movie, in that movie, Get Out, we see the scenes where they're taking the body of the black man, but they're planting their mindset into that body.
Come on
Right.
now.
Well, that's happening right now.
Yeah.
Yes,
This
yes.
enemy is dying off. He is dying off. See, there was a study some years ago that talked about the white woman overseas in the UK, and that the birth rate had dropped below the minimum standard. And I believe the minimum standard is 1.7 or 1.8 children per year. Anything under 1.5 meant that you could not recover from it.
Right.
Well, they were down to almost a 1.3. They're not recovering. There was a study that just came out in the U.S. that the Caucasian woman in the U.S. has now dropped below the reproduction standard as well. Why am I saying these things? They have identified that they are dying off, and they know based off studies that within the next 30 years, we're looking at by 2050, that the next quote unquote race, which would be the Hispanic Latino race, would now become the majority. If you know you're dying off, you're at a position where you cannot recover yourself. There's two things you must do to preserve yourself.
Go ahead.
Either one, you're going to start killing off the race that will become the majorities.
Go ahead.
You're either going to kill off the race that will become the majorities, Latinos, blacks, that will become the majorities, or you would take that one thing, which was the last thing which is the last trick, was the woman. But now you're going beyond that. And now as a man, you are planting your seed. Those are two seeds there.
Right.
You're planting your seed, your fertile seed, and your mental seed into the black woman who is the God of the universe.
Come on.
She is the second self of God. So if I, as a Caucasian man, can plant my seed inside of her, now I can have the influence on the woman, which means I can reproduce myself, even though I may be in a black skin, just as we see and Get Out. I may be in a black skin, but I have the mindset continue to live on, so my legacy continues, so the devil continues to live on.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Please forgive me because I'm full today.
Come on, man. Come on.
I'm not trying to preach, but I want us to see this is what we're dealing with. So now when you look at commercials, social equality, you don't see black families in commercials. You see interracial families in commercials. But the flip side to that, every time that they engage with us, yes, their physical body dies off, which speeds up the process, but their mental, spiritual, idle thoughts, their thought process continues on in us, and that's what prevents us from continuing on to break that cycle.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right, brother. Go ahead. You know, it makes me think of this saying, the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. Well, we have the ability as the black woman to rule the world or to shape the way the world exists. But if we have the mind of a devil as opposed to the mind of God, then that is exactly what is going to be produced. And what we see in our community with gang violence, you know, with all of the loose-minded women, 3 and 4 year olds wearing, you know, clothes that are inappropriate for even a grown woman to wear, let alone a child. You know, so the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. And a lot of times, you know, I'm having this conversation with my goddaughters, you know, about the book that Sister Sherazad Ali wrote. And it was some ugly truths in there. It was hard to really, you know, grasp it. But we have to look at ourselves and decide, how do we want to shape the future?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Because we are the future. It's what future is it going to be? Is it going to be the rule of God, or is it going to be the rule of Satan?
Come on now.
Part. That
You
part.
know, so you made such an excellent point, brother. The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world, and we have to be the ones that determine that. But Allah has already made His decision, so we know who's going to be the victor, and that
Yes,
will
we
be
do.
God.
Yes, we do.
All right.
Yes, sir.
There you
That
go.
was those were some really good points. That really makes you think, and that really makes you think about what the Most High Muhammad said, that if all white people died tomorrow,
Mm,
we'd be 10 times worse. The reason why is because, like you said, we have their mind. So that means that God, Allah has to erase the mind completely in order for that to be removed
mm,
off of his planet. Um, and another thing, when you were talking about the youth and how they were, leaving, um, like you said, you have to really like involve them. That's why like I created the NIY Black Gamers group and the Black Anime and Comics, because I really want to get the youth involved and get them to see more of themselves. And I'm going to continue to do a better job by Allah's grace and mercy
that's
to promote more of ourselves, because we're tired of seeing white people. And even though I like Superman and all that, we're tired of seeing that. We want to
mm,
see ourselves.
mm.
And we
You want
even,
media man.
yeah, we do, right? Or dreadlocks or anybody like that, right? And we literally, as I've seen, we have enough black media to actually literally leave them behind.
Mm,
And I'm like I said, I will continue doing a better job
mm,
at promoting our own, because we have enough media to leave them alone. We even have enough, like a decent amount of media in the nation, like NTP cartoons. Another sister has a children's book. I can't
oh, it's
remember.
plenty.
Oh, it's
It's
plenty,
plenty.
but like,
You have a book.
oh yeah, the first day I prayed, yeah. But I need to make, but what I need, like you said, the demographic that I really need to pull along with younger children is children. I mean, is teenagers and people in my age range. So I'm like, as you know, I'm 21, so this is like still the teenage phase till you get like 25, 30. And I really need to put that demographic, because those are the hardest ones to pull. Younger children are somewhat easier to pull because and that's why you have to be careful, because their minds are very susceptible, so they're easy as long as you do it correctly to pull in the in that direction. It's just the teenagers, because their mind is dead set on something. And I've been learning that myself, like, and I think, like my dad said, I'm gonna write a book about it, about the the arrogance that it's a lot of times what happens. Part of why the youth leave, along with not having activities, is they begin sometimes to think they know it all. Yes, my dad told me this, my mom told me this, the minister has said this 100 times. I thought that the end of this world was gonna be right now. I thought it was gonna be right now. So we have to have patience.
Mm,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, but let me let me
What
If
question
you
got?
don't have to have a question,
no, but
but if you have a question,
I wanna give him a
okay.
question. I wanna like it's like
I mean, I was already preparing to answer for what you're saying. So go right
oh,
ahead.
okay, well I'm gonna let you go ahead and do that.
You you made a statement. Um, you know, people were saying this. The minister said this. My parents said this. People said this. Said, said, said. See, that's called talking. That's called talking. You are a generation of action. And technically, every generation becomes more of a generation of action. We're becoming to a point where we're tired of talking. I don't want to hear what the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said. I don't want to hear what the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said. What are you doing to be an example of it? That's where the struggle is. So by you taking action, I created a magazine or I created a comic book. So that's called action. I'm not talking about it. Man, I think we should do comic books. Man, it would be nice if we had this. Man, I wish my parents did this. Or I wish the nation had this. I wish the community had this. I wish we had more black this. No, what you did, you took the step forward. You stepped out on faith to create it. Now, The hard part is staying steadfast and having the patience to wait for it to blow up.
Right.
That's the struggle.
Right.
See, if we actually walked out on faith or stepped out on faith, if we actually followed, we actually follow the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, the teachings of the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and really pulled our resources of like minds and actually put something in place, we will win the youth overnight.
That's right.
See, the challenge is the youth is looking and hearing about this beautiful hereafter that is given to us, our heaven on earth right now. We keep hearing about it. I'm tired of hearing about it. I want to see it.
Right.
I want to feel it come into existence. So what happens is that it's not all arrogance from the child. Is I'm tired of hearing. It's like, and I'll give you this example, Jami. And I hope you don't get in trouble when I put this out there. Have you ever been in an experience where your parents kept telling you something over and over and over and over, and you might have got in trouble, but they kept bringing it up? I'm tired of hearing about it. So you start saying, or you may have a smart remark back because you're tired of hearing the same thing. So at some point you say something that gets you in more trouble.
Were you there?
That was me. So what happens is we have to do stuff, and it can't be corny. See, we make Islam corny because we act like we're perfect. No. If you take your comic book and you make your comic book as real as possible in regards of realistic things that happen in life. I woke up late going to school. I don't go to school perfect. I got in trouble with my teacher. I got in a fight. This happened here. I got in an argument. See, when you talk about this book has flaws in it, as naturally as it would. But in this book, I'm talking about my flaws. I'm talking about I'll talk about something and I'll express something in the book, and you hear me, you'll read it and say, don't worry about that. They ain't got nothing to do with you. I know you're perfect. I'm talking about me right now. Yes, I make mistakes. I have flaws. I get put on the chopping block. So when we create something, we have to think beyond the mosque. See, Allah gave us a nation.
That's right.
The mosque is an entity within the nation. We are nation building. We're not mosque building. When the minister when the minister sends a representative to an area, terrain, he doesn't send him or her to a mosque. He gives him and her a city.
Go ahead.
So you're building a city, which means that those cities coming together builds a state. Those states coming together builds a region. Those regions come together builds a country. Those countries coming together builds a continent.
That's
right. So we take that same mindset for trying to get to our youth and finding out what is your desire. What do you want to do? Because I can guarantee, as Allah is my witness, that any and everything you desire to do is and will be at one point in time needed in building a nation.
Right.
You're working on comic books. That's called entertainment. That goes into the Ministry of Arts and Culture.
Right.
With all that work going on, Sister Natalie, Brother Cutthroat, when you're out doing all that work, at some point in time, when you come home, what are you looking for? Some entertainment. When you go to the movies, you're looking for what? Entertainment. When you go to a concert, you're looking for entertainment. But you don't want corny, boring entertainment. So whatever you're doing, think beyond the now, plan it out in the future, take your steps to fulfill it, and think about, each and every character and how it impacts this person in this community, this person in that community, and how it can uplift them by planting the right seeds that at some point in time, Allah will germinate that seed and they will walk back to you, which will lead them to the nation. When you look at this beautiful book, yes, and I'm going to call it a beautiful book because that's what it is. This beautiful book walks us into the man of God.
Come on now.
See, when you go chapter by chapter, first of all, before you even go into the chapters, what did the book do first? It opened up in prayer.
That's right.
It opened up in prayer, and I asked Allah to remove myself when you read that prayer. Then it goes into our salutation. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. Right? It goes through our salutation. Then we lead into the first chapter, which is what? It's time to save our youth.
That's right.
We deal with family. And then as we continue on getting into chapter 5 and going up, now we start dealing with individual principles, discipline, setting goals, understanding we're going to make mistakes, being corrupted by our own MO, understanding the variables of life, living our best life. Then it starts to roll into, see, we're taking steps, planting seeds. So as we start working on changing and transforming our lives, we start walking into someone. My walk with Farrakhan.
Yes.
Allah Savior in our midst. Now, when we get to those chapters, we're growing mentally, spiritually, emotionally. So now when we get to this man, it's like, wow, this man helped this man write this book that has helped me, and I get to learn more about him.
Right.
It's all stepping stones, brother.
Yeah.
It's all stepping stones. So thank you for your statements. Last question, Brother Jami.
And as they say, thank you, Uncle Hannibal, because you spoke right into, I believe, into, his heart. I know that, Jami is a very intelligent young man, and he has so much to offer, and just having, conversations with beautiful Black men like you. And I want to say this again, this whole month, with all of our shows, we are celebrating the Black man.
That's right.
We're not waiting for Father's Day.
Come on.
We want the whole month. We want the whole year. We want to always honor and celebrate the Black man, because you all bring so much. It's so important, for you all to be that foundation in our community the way in which we need it, and to stand up with the man of God in an hour like this when, there's so much opposition, and to be able to put it down in writing and put my name next to it. This is who I am. This is what I know. I'm very appreciative of what you just shared, brother.
So we got a brother over here, Brother T Bridge, that's asking Brother Jami to name some of the Black-owned entertainment magazines and anime that you mentioned. So he wants you you can put it in the chat, put it in there, but mention it because they asked about it.
So let me put it in the chat. Sorry.
BSP, Black Sands,
Publishing.
Black Sands.
Come on,
brother who's being published with his new comic book called Flame.
Okay. And then you got Impound comic by Trey, and his last name is Sands. That's a nice comic book because he's like a MMA wrestler, and something. Yeah, and he gets superpowers later, but he ain't got them right now because he gets kind of, I'm not going to that. And then you have Urban Style Comics, and he has like a whole plethora in there. And then you got
Don't you have it listed somewhere on your website?
Yeah, I do have on my website. I have like the Black comics, like all. Like not all, but a lot of them listed because there's so many.
And you have a YouTube channel with some stuff too, right?
Yeah. And then another one that hasn't come out yet is it's a vaccine comic. It's not really about the COVID-19 vaccine, but it's similar because
Ooh.
the vaccine activates the disease that turns people into zombies. That's not coming out till October. Then you have this other comics that I was supporting. One is called Watchmen. It's not Watchmen from DC. It's his own character. Wait, and actually I got a picture of him right here. I need to read the book, but y'all can see that's a picture of the Watchmen on my phone. That's a black comic. And then it's another one called
you got a picture of the urban style?
oh yes, on my lock screen.
Yeah.
No, hold on.
So
And then this is
this
Dreadlocks.
This is Dreadlock right here from Urban Style Comics. I'll get the phone.
Yeah, and then you have Spirits of Destiny, and I mean it's so many of them, but the main ones, like I was saying, Black Sands, Impound is getting kind of known, Urban Style Comics, and then of course you
That's
have
brother Andre Vance.
right, brother Andre Batts, and then you even have the horror genre. It's literally a Where Sparta comic, which is something I never heard of in my life. I'm like, a Where Sparta. I'm like, how does that work? I was like, how does that work? I was like, this is and then I mean, it's so many now. I'm gonna put my website in the chat as well.
Please put your website in the chat and your YouTube as well, so they can connect with you and be able to get that whole plethora of people. And I was actually fortunate myself to be a part of, joining on to the Black sci-fi movement in regards to when they first started the site, which has been out for, I think they came out maybe 2000 and something. And they've been around for a while, and they give out free Black sci-fi books and stuff like that, so that they can get exposure. They got a podcast, all of that. So if you into Star Trek and that whole type of deal, but they got more than just that kind of sci-fi. They do a whole genre of things. Again, Andre Batts with Urban Style Comics. We've been blessed to interview him a couple of times as well. So for those of you that's looking, definitely tap into that. We want to jump back in with my brother, because again, this is a beautiful book, just like he said.
And I'm enjoying it, brother. I really am. My husband reads to me, so it's family time. Sometimes he reads to the both of us, and then we have our discussions with the book. So we're gonna be feeding off of this book for quite some time. Because it's so much in it, you don't want to just run through it.
Right.
Can I drop something on you?
Go ahead.
Now you are getting the exclusive of this.
All right.
Yeah.
Watch it.
So this weekend, I will be receiving the updated version of what I'm working on. And inshallah, come the 1st of July, maybe by the second week of July, there will be a workbook attached to this.
That's
Q&A, open discussion, essay, fill in the blank to help in that part, because the goal is to take us into a deeper study. And one of the goals of this book is to get into the schools and the prisons, that it can open up those discussions and help us to grow as a humanity. So as you mentioned, having these discussions on it, it will be a study guide to help out with that process.
Awesome.
I'm about to plant a seed. Are you ready? Are you ready, brother?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now you already got the book. You're going to have the workbook, right? You ready for the next step? Brother Hannibal needs to have an online course about this, so that those parents that are seeking to engage with their children in this way. Now, don't think it's hard. You're a social media man. So you already know. You record the videos. You talk about the different chapters. You talk about that. You get them tapped in with your Discord, tapped in with your Telegram. So you do that same kind of deal. So now not only do you got the digital book, the e-book, hit them with an NFT of the book to unlock the course. Get you some Bitcoin going in there.
You see that?
Look at my brother.
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Hey, it's in my. If it's in my notes, that means it's getting put into action.
Come on, man.
You
Look,
know, I want to say that.
Go ahead.
You know, I came in the nation in the 90s, and right when the study guides began, and so student minister Ava Muhammad would actually conduct our study groups. And one of the main things that she impressed on my mind was practical application.
Yes.
We can study, we can read, we can, you know, do all kind of these wonderful things with our minds. But until we have practical application, then we cannot move forward. And I really like that you're doing the workbook because that allows us to have the practical application.
That's
you know, for
All
not
praises
just
to
the
God.
children, because a lot of times we blame it on the children. They stressing me out, and this is. But we have to be able, as parents, to look at ourselves. You know, and all our running around and all of our doing this, we're losing.
Yeah.
You know, we're not really gaining. We think we're gaining. We got money, we got a house. You know, we got the picket fence and the little doggy, but we're our baby. You know, and so having that practical application and then putting it, you know, getting it into the school systems and into the prisons is an awesome, you know, initiative. You know, and of course, anything that we can do, Brother Hannibal, to help you on that journey.
Yeah.
You know, we definitely would love to do that. We're going to get that book. So make sure you let us know when the workbook is out so that we can walk through
we
it.
want at least the fifth copy. We know we won't get the first one.
Right, Mama got to
We
get
want
that,
to
right?
be in the top 10, so don't you know, we want to be in the top 10, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I do want to just drop this one more thing too, brother, because I know again you in heavy in the social media. One thing too, brother, is to uh take the workbook and everything and develop an app behind it. So that way that they can have everything they need right there on their phone, right there on their tablets that they already know. And essentially is basically getting access to the course. You can do it in two ways. You can do a membership type deal where they pay per month or they pay a one-time fee. Then that way you got even more streams of income. I know it's not about the money. Look, let me just say this and what I know. And just what I know. Our dear brother Yusuf bin Yakumin died in a elderly home in Atlanta without a nickel, quarter, or dime to his pocket. I'm gonna say that again. Our brother Yusuf bin Yakumin died in Atlanta without a nickel, quarter, dime to his pocket. All the work that he did, all the research that he did. This brother died in an elderly home by himself, no money, with all that he did for us. We got to get out of that. We don't deserve to get something. No, let me quote the lessons for those of y'all who think that that's what it's about. No, it said Islam is mathematics and mathematics is Islam. And after you learn Islam, now you must learn to use your mathematical theology to secure some good in this life: money, luxury, good home, friendships, and all walks of life. So God didn't intend for you to be broke. How the hell you gonna build a world? How you gonna build a world with no money? You can't build a world with no money. So God is commanding you to be rich. I'm gonna say it again. God is commanding you to be rich.
Yeah.
He's commanding you. You mean to tell me these people that's getting on there talking about the secret, making millions of dollars, and we got the real secret that God came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, that you can't take that and monetize that and get that luxury money, good homes and friendships and all walks of life, and whatever anybody got to say, you tell them it was Allah's will that I have this gold on my ceiling, these diamonds on my floors, these diamonds on my hand. Don't get mad at me. Put in the work.
All praises. Well, let me just say, when you come to Mind Sparkations, we always gonna do our best to let a spark in your mind create a new reality. So, brother, our time is short. We don't want to abuse your time, but we want to give you. Yes, sir.
Look, I cleared my schedule for this.
We love it.
Yes,
as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan does, he wants to make sure when he gives you that, when you desire his attention, he gives you that undivided attention. So I clear my schedule so y'all have my time and I can have yours. So whatever y'all have set for me, I'm rolling with it.
Well, actually, we do have another show after this one.
Yeah, but we got a few more minutes.
But I wanted to give you an opportunity to share with the audience, something that's on your heart and mind that you do not want the rest of this day to go past without you sharing.
That's right. Don't forget your kind of connect with you too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. First and foremost, let me thank you all for this opportunity to be on your show. And I thank Almighty God Allah for giving us the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I thank them too for leaving an extension that I will be able to know them to through the divine guidance of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who is our spiritual father.
Yeah.
I wanted to say to the audience that every day that God allows you to open up your eyes, he allows you to feel your fingers, your toes. He allows you to hear and allows you to speak. He's blessed us with another opportunity to do something better than we did yesterday. He's granted us blessings and mercy for whatever mistakes we have made by giving us an opportunity to reclaim another victory by being awake that day. Yeah. So I pray that we do better today than we did yesterday. I pray that we reach out and we touch someone. As we all know, many have been struggling from being sheltered in through this pandemic. And believe it or not, just that one phone call, that one text, that one reach out, what Allah will use you and how he will use your spirit to touch them will really bring them up. I ask that if you're really looking to make a change in your life and you really want to transform the way you think, the way you work, you want to be able to figure out how to set goals, how to become a little bit more disciplined, how to be able to reassess your parenting skills, reassess how you are as a child to your parents. I ask you, just pick it up. Take some time and go through it. And if you run into periods where there may be some misunderstanding, don't even worry about that, because you can substitute names with other names. You can substitute titles with other titles and find that title, that name that you're comfortable with, and just substitute and watch how it will still flow, because that's all interchangeable. Right. I ask that you pick it up. You can visit HannibalMuhammad.com. You can also get it off of Amazon, In My Father's Steps. You can also pick up the book on Apple iBooks. There's other merchandise on there as well. There's other opportunities, and you can connect with me at Brother Hannibal. That's BrotherHannibal. And if you have any questions, you have any concerns, you have anything that's going on, do not hesitate to reach out to me. And as I always close out, if I made any mistakes, I pray that you don't blame it on my heart, because I'm striving to purify that. But I ask that you blame it on my mind that I may have missed something. And I ask that God gives you forgiveness. It gives me forgiveness for any errors that were made, and that he continues to allow us to grow into oneness and allows us to grow into his will. I appreciate it, family.
Oh, praises due to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. Well, we wasn't giving you the wrap up yet. We at least got another question or two, but we appreciate that. This wasn't the sayonara.
That's why it was led to me. That's why I thought we were closing out.
Yo.
Questions.
Brother
No, it's
Hannibal.
we
Usually we go an hour, maybe an
come
hour,
on, man.
but my husband always seems to go way over the
Don't
time.
worry about that.
It's all good. Our
Our
next
brothers
show,
in the building. It ain't till
yes,
10:30.
our next show isn't until 10:30, so we do have a little
Okay.
bit more time.
Come on.
So
Okay.
if anybody have any questions out there, any comments for our brother, please feel free to put it in the chat
That's
so
right.
that we can definitely, while we got the time, while we got our brother present, let's go ahead and ask those questions.
Well, I got a question.
All right.
My brother brung up the movie Fences in this movie.
Good
And
movie.
he talked about how we put our limitations on our children. He talked
Ooh.
about how we put our limitations on our children
Right.
and how that brother could have done something different. He could have done something different to reap a different result with his son because he was so defeated. He was so defeated by what he went through that he disallowed the gift of his own child to shine. Could you speak a little bit into that, dear brother?
Yes, sir. Let me first drop this in the process of leading into it. This beautiful book called Closing the Gaps, the interviews of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. As you go towards the end of the book, there's a question that the question that Minister Jabril poses to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And he asked him, what's the definition of fun? And the minister goes into defining fun. And one of the things that he says, as I paraphrase, because I don't have it right in front of me, he makes mention that fun is learning something new. And he gives an example about children exploring things as they're growing up, and they have fun as they're learning new things. Well, as parents, we can stifle our children as our children are exploring new things. And we stifle them because of the fear of our life experiences. And the life experiences do hold weight. However, as things change, we hold our struggles against them. We place it over their heads. Simple example may be your child jumping up and down on the couch. Naturally, sit down because we're afraid because of life experiences of the child falling off the couch and injuring themselves. Right. Not taking in consideration that this child is learning the differences between gravity right now. This child is learning something pertaining to springs and what happens when they jump up and how their body may adjust in the jumping and in the impact of coming down. And the child is actually going through a science experiment right now. But because of our fear, we automatically shut down that experiment. So that goes on to bigger things in life. Due to police brutality on our young men and women, we naturally get frightened when our children go out by themselves. So now we're concerned, instead of allowing them to experience life, we're afraid that their life may be experiencing such a negative because we see it on the news. So our fear can become a challenge from the growth of our own children. Right. You see the opposite in other communities where they encourage them to go mountain climbing, to go dirt biking, to jump over hills, to go swimming with sharks. I ain't getting in no water with no sharks because of our fear, but because they're challenging their fears. Now, when they get older, they have more experience and they're willing to take chances in life. And that's why you see a lot more success coming out of those communities instead of our communities because of our fears. So what we seen in that movie Fence with Denzel Washington, because of his struggle, he didn't want to see his son go through his same experiences. But and that's where he failed at what he could have done. And what we can do as parents is understand that what we experienced is an opportunity for us to educate our children so that they don't fall victim to our same mistakes. So instead of saying, no, you can't do it, It's now let me show you how to do it in the right way that you don't do or run into the same headaches I ran into and you wind up a victim like I did. See, a victim can now become a victorious person because they experienced something. So that's more or less what I'm speaking about in that book.
Yes.
Allahu Akbar. You know, go ahead. You had
Well,
something.
I was just going to say, as you were saying that, it made me think about our Friday night study. Is Friday night study the basis for community self improvement, the basis for community development. And so that means we have to really take a look at ourselves, who we are,
Yes.
in order to help our children get to that next level. A lot of times our children see things or feel things, experience things, and we shut them down. If you have deja vu, or our child saw something in the universe that nobody else saw, we usually dismiss it. But what we don't understand is that there are more to this world than we really understand. And now that, of course, they're coming out more with UFOs or now identified flying objects, we understand there's more to this universe than we thought. So I never shut my children down when they had experiences. I encourage it because I was shut down as a young person. So, God wants to use us in this hour to save one another. Mother Tynetta talks about that a lot,
Yeah.
about, and mother, sister Ava Muhammad also speaks on it. We will one day be able to see something to prevent someone else from being hurt. So we cannot shut our children down and one another, encourage one another, stay always grounded with Allah. Always stay grounded with Allah. That to me is extremely important, but not shutting our children down, brother. I agree with you 100%.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
yes. I just speak to on a personal experience, and I'm not gonna give you the long version, but it's a particular reason I'm sharing this. When I was younger, believe it or not, I was so shy that I gave myself a speech impediment. So, like when you would see in the old slave movies, yes, sir, balls, eyes, and I would talk like that. And it was like that because of lack of confidence. I would talk like that, and people would talk about me because of the way that I talk. But when I met the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad
Mm.
under the leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, when I met the teachings, and for the first time in my life, my mother never did not tell me she didn't love me and my family. It wasn't like that. But they never told me that I was a God.
Mm.
They never told me that I had the ability to do whatever was in my mind. They never showed me how to take out of my mind and make it manifest what it was that I actually wanted to do. They never did that. I don't blame them for that because most of the parents out here, they've never been taught these things. We taught something in our lessons, which means we have to be studious. It said that the civilized man's job, I'm paraphrasing now, is to teach the science of everything in life.
Mm.
Well, then that means you got to understand the why, the ins, the outs, the how to in order for you to teach that. You don't come into that just because you know the lessons. You don't come into that just because you heard a lecture.
Mhm.
You come into that through experience, through study, and through practical application. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just bearing you witness that this in my father's steps, this book talking about your journey I had my own too, and the limitations of my own family, the limitations of them, and it wasn't until that the master with the key came and
Yes.
unlocked
Yes.
the gate that I can even begin to walk out and talk and do anything. Like I wouldn't have been talking to you on no screen, that's for sure. That's for sure. Believe it. Okay? That's how shy I was. I just wanted to bear you witness on that.
Yes, sir.
That we do that with limitations.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And
All
the
right.
most
So
the most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us in the supreme wisdom that with little study, see, he didn't say a lot of study. We need to study, but he said
Right.
with little study. And from that study, like you mentioned, it was the practical application. So as we learn things, we must take what we learn and go apply it.
Right.
Similar to the movement of a thought. As a thought comes into your mind, you only have a certain amount of time to apply it before you lose that thought.
come on, man.
So as you mentioned having a speech impediment, I was very shy. And believe it or not, my shyness still kicks in at times. And people say, "You're not shy." I'm like, "No, I really am." But one thing I learned that helped me was cracking jokes. I was very silly. So I would crack a joke. And even from the rostrum at times, when I'm opening up, you'll notice I'll start off very, very soft, very, very low as I'm getting into it. And then when I hear that, that's right. Oh, I'm good now. I'm good. Because it's that confirmation that all right, I'm speaking the right words, I'm speaking what Allah has blessed me with. And once I get that confirmation, now I'm able to get comfortable in that process. So yes, sir, we are really we're really blessed. We're really blessed with something. And I want to drop this one piece out, Sister Natalie, as you were mentioning the children and having those experiences. See, a lot of us have experiences, but we're afraid of our experiences because we don't know what they are.
Right.
And we want to know what they are. Mm-hmm. And as a child comes out the womb, a child still has a purity. That child still really connected to Allah. But as the child grows and the child runs into the different distractions in life and the different struggles of family, and the different struggles of friends, the different struggles of society, the child becomes disconnected from that spiritual connection. Right. And as those things grow, we start to have those not impediments, those revelations, but we're not connected, so we don't understand them. Right. And I may mention to people this. Anything that we ask Allah of, anything we ask Him in our prayers, Allah answers our prayers.
That's right.
The thing is, when we get up from that prayer rug, we automatically go get distracted by other things, so we miss the answers. And the answers keep coming, but we keep missing the answers. So if we come up from that prayer rug with an open mind, open eyes, open heart, seeking to receive, not saying I'm looking, what's the answer? What's the answer? No, but seeking to receive the answer. As things are happening in our lives, we will see the answer come right in front of us. We'll say, oh, that's what it is. That's what he meant. Like, I'm gonna drop this one little piece. As you all may know, my sister, has been struggling with a health condition. And through this health condition, she'll ask, are you good? I'm straight, sis. I mean, I'm the rock of the family. So I'm like, I'm good. I got y'all. Whatever y'all need, I'll make sure you're taken care of. I finally had a moment where I was able to break down and call on a God. And I'm calling on them. And I'm like, come on, Allah. Why you sending her through that? Why ain't you give it to me? Why she gotta have that pain? Why ain't you give me that pain? I'm really calling on it. After I finished, less than 10 minutes later, I received a text message from a sister saying, Allah put it on my heart to remind you of Moses and the wise man.
Oh, wow.
Less than 10 minutes later, And she's like,
Oh,
I don't, do you know what that means? I'm like, yeah, I know what that means. I know what that means. And now I'm like, all right, Allah, all right, I'll stop questioning you. I'll stop questioning you. I will walk in faith and wait for you to reveal to me why you're sending her through what you're sending her through. And I've been patiently waiting for an answer, continuing to work on the things I'm working on, but open to receive it when it comes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, that will open up our next show, which is Love My Kidneys.
That's right.
And that's at 10:30. And we're going to talk a lot about these health challenges.
That's right.
Yes.
You know, because I am currently on dialysis, but my body is in the process of healing. You know, and that is all about what the show is. The body always wants to heal itself, and we have to continue to create an environment that allows that to happen. So our
Yes.
next show, we're going to have a beautiful brother Desmond Muhammad, on our show to talk about just basic health. But I think, you know, because this month we're honoring the Black man, we're going to be talking about Black men's health, dealing with the kidneys, high blood pressure, diabetes, and things like that. But always remember, for me, yes, it's, you know, a illness, and yes, I have to get on a machine, but I don't really see it as a problem in my life. I see it as a blessing because Allah is allowing me to touch other people through my journey, through my experience. Right. And so we just have to be strong and always help one another and strengthening one another to know that this is not the end. This is the beginning of something awesome, because we're going to be able to prove that Allah came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. He gave us the answer. All we have to do is walk in it.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So that is exactly what I am striving to do. And I am so grateful to my husband, who probably feels like you at times. Allah, why are you putting my wife through this? You know, why I got to be right here going through all of this, you know, but he has been such a rock for me, and has really helped me in this process and made it a lot easier for me to deal with, because I can't imagine, you know, dealing with it on my own, and by myself. And of course, my son, you know, who, you know, helps me whenever I need anything done. He's right there. You know, he may hesitate sometimes, but he's still gonna get it done. He's still gonna get it done and make sure his mom is good.
Are you open to suggestions?
Absolutely.
There's a brother by the name of Abdul Malik, formerly known as Brother Warren. And a few times a week, they have a Zoom call titled Fasting and Prayer.
Okay.
And they fast, you know, every weekend, starting Thursday being the last one. They do the 3-day fast every weekend. There's quite a few testimonies that really, I really believe that if you catch, and they should be on today. If you catch it, it will really inspire and help you, and it creates another support group. You know, and it'll help take some of the weight off of you as well, Brother Cawthron. It creates a support group that help in this process, because there's a lot of believers that are going through the same thing, and through this process they've been going through, they've seen some changes. They bear witness to some changes, and I can say the same thing. Going to every other day, eating every other day, man. My last week and a half of Ramadan, I was reading without my glasses on.
All right.
I noticed that my hearing became a lot more sensitive. That's why I wear earphones all the time. You know, so there's a lot of things on what the minister and the messenger and the Magni was teaching us through fasting and prayer.
That's right. And we've just started actually, because I had to get myself to 1 meal a day. And so we've mastered that. So now we're starting the process of fasting 1 day or 2 days out of the week.
All praises
you
be
know,
to
yes,
Allah.
we do the national fast. Well, he do 3 days, I do 2 days. But every week we do 2 days. We go a whole 48 hours. So I'm gonna
May Allah bless
definitely
you.
tap in, you know, because it's strength and in unity. And the more of us that can get together, pray together, fast together, we're gonna get stronger together. So I appreciate that. Now we'll be tapping in.
All praises be to Allah. May Allah bless you during this try and error.
Yeah.
Oh yes, sir. You know, one of the things, family, again, I wrote a couple of books too, and one I just finished. I just finished one. I'm just giving y'all something. I'm not gonna say the name yet, but I just finished one. Now this is gonna be a small ebook, but it won't be without being impactful and powerful now.
That's right.
And what I told you, brother, I'm following suit with it, with the course and everything else that's going along with it by the help of Allah. So a lot of us have books in us. A lot of us have ideas in us. And I highly recommend, Jamie, look on YouTube for me and drop the belief in Allah in the chat. I highly recommend that for anybody that's trying to manifest anything right now, that you go and listen to this lecture by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan called The Belief in Allah. Whatever your faith tradition is, I want you to listen, because this is the first time that I ever heard any man tell you the process of manifestation in powerful short verses that really, like, if you just really think on it, it's like, man, I never had a person to tell me to think on the thought. I never had a person to tell me to develop the thought in darkness. I never had a person to tell me that, basically the idea is an idea, but now you got to go ahead and come up with a plan, a scheme, a method to bring that idea about. You know what I'm saying? So those of you who are really wondering about manifestation, there's many different tools to use, but a lot of times it says in the scripture that those who have ears, let them hear. So it entering into the mind first. Every other tool comes after that. It has to enter into the mind. If you into crystals, the crystals ain't gonna help you if you don't believe first. If you into meditation, it ain't gonna help you if you don't believe first. So therefore, this is why I'm recommending the belief in Allah to each and every one listening. My brother has manifested a whole book, and he got other things on the way. And I'm looking forward to all that he is doing. And I'll be on that journey too. So he'll begin to see me doing like he doing. I don't know about me getting the billboard yet, but
which was so cool.
That was cool. That's why I used that picture. But brother, we just really want to thank you for this book. We want to thank you for this book, and we know that this book is near and dear to your heart, and this is your first child in regards to manifestation. Now, this is your first child. It won't be the last, and I just want you to know this: it don't always have to be this big. It don't have to always be that big. It could be small series. Think about the Supreme Wisdom book by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Just little snippet articles that he did that became books. So that tells us it don't have to be long books to be impactful and powerful. How powerful is the meaning of the FOI? How powerful is the women's series in Islam by Mother Tynetta? It don't always have to be 9,000 pages long. Okay, no disrespect on that. I'm just saying, for those who think like that, it can be smaller steps first until you get to the bigger step. So you can start with solving problems. Okay, you may be like my brother is heavy into social media. Some people might have problems with content creation. So you start with that, talking about developing the idea, talk about how to do these things, how to utilize social media. And it's not meant to be a panacea and give you all the answers. It's just meant to be something that'll get you headed in the right direction. Then volume 2, then volume 3, and so on. And before you know it, you got 10 volumes that you can combine into the big book.
Right.
You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? So it ain't always the big book that has to manifest first. You can manifest smaller ones and then move to bigger ones. We definitely want to thank our family over here at Melanated People. We got Danny Cassie over here, and I can't see the rest of them, but thank you for tapping in. Thank you for tapping in on Facebook, YouTube. You know, we all over the place. We might be on the mothership. Who knows? Wouldn't that be a shock? Well, brother, we just really just personally want to thank you for taking your time. We know you got 10 billion things going on in your life with everything that you're doing. And for you to take out this time with us, it is highly appreciated. And in the near future, let our dear brother, student minister Abdul Iman, know that we're going to be coming for him next. So get ready.
Yes, sir. All praises be to Allah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I appreciate you all even blessing me with an opportunity to be on your show. And I pray that Allah amplifies it. And I pray that you all are able to take this so far up that it becomes embarrassing on how much he blesses you. That's really big. That's really big. You're blessed so well that it's embarrassed. I mean, that's what we're taught. We're taught that we'll have so much wealth, we'll be in such a position that it'll be embarrassing. So I pray that he takes you all to such scope, such levels that you all able to receive and receive the benefits from it. And thank you for blessing me with the opportunity to be on your show. I'm blessed and honored to be on your show. So thank you for this opportunity.
We're going to be on yours next time. We're going to be on your show, the Hannibal Muhammad show. So when you ready?
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
praises due to
All
Allah,
praises
brother.
due to Allah.
You know, again, we are grateful, and our goal is to, you know, elevate our people 1 degree, you know, at least when they leave our show, that they've gained something that will bring them closer to the God, closer to loving themselves more, and closer to the kingdom of Allah. So,
Yes.
you know, we only bring the best on the show. So continue to be the best, because you are absolutely the best, brother.
Now before he go, let him see that magnificent shirt
Oh, okay.
for the fundraiser that
Well, I'm gonna,
we ain't trying to get no money out of you. We just want you to see the Love My Kidney Center.
Can you see
Some
that?
of the paraphernalia. That's the face man's right there.
All right. So we are doing a fundraiser for Love My Kidneys, because we are working on our 501c3. Our goal is to help those that are dealing with kidney disease, high blood pressure, you know, any kind of ailment that will lead to kidney disease, to help them find natural, holistic healing modalities. Meaning, a lot of times we can't afford the herbs, we can't afford the supplements, the naturopathic doctors, like Dr. Akili, who we had on our show last week, you know, who uses How to Eat to Live in order to bring the body back into balance. So right here we have our t-shirt, and we have that in red. We have it in pink for those who love the pink.
Got it in hot pink.
And then we also have it in a nice black. I really like the black, because for me, it's like all that love is coming up out of the darkness, you know. And a lot of times when we're dealing with illness, we're in a dark place, and we have to lighten that up. You know, it is not the end of the world. It really is the beginning of a new world, a new discovery of a better relationship with Allah. So, you know, we want to continue to ask those to support Love My Kidneys. If you have time, come on back at 10:30 a.m., which is in about 30 minutes. We're going to have our beautiful Brother Desmond Muhammad, who's going to talk about men's health, as we continue to honor and love the Black man the whole month of June, every thinking Thursday. That's what it's about. Beautiful men like you, Brother Hannibal, who are stand up men in the community, We love you. We appreciate you. And we pray that Allah continue to bless you 10 times over and over and over again.
That's right. That's right, brother. And keep on fighting and keep on writing, brother.
All right.
Keep on fighting and keep on writing, brother.
All praises be to Allah. Yes, sir.
All right, family. May Allah bless you and your family, man. And I know you do a lot of different things, but in the near future, we definitely want to talk to you about all that you're doing with the youth, dealing with the foster homes and things like that. And let us know, you know what I'm saying, if it's something that we can do to help as well. I knew something about it, but of course I don't know all you do. You do a million things. So therefore you gotta let your brother know what's going on, you know what I mean, with all that you do. So family, definitely tap in with our brother Hannibal. This brother does a wide array of things. And he's had a very exciting life. I've seen some pictures in Dubai, in Jamaica, all kind of stuff like that. So Allah is blessing this brother, and he got that eye. That's why he like Get Out, because he got that eye like that, brother.
Yes, sir.
Brother, Allah continue to bless you, man, and we love you. And we're not just saying that on the camera. That's
love you too.
That's for real.
Yes,
so we want to say to you, Assalamu alaikum. May Allah continue to bless you. We want you to definitely see Mr. Jamil.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you.
Alaikum salam.
Yes, sir. All right, brother.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. May Allah bless and keep you. And inshallah, we'll be talking to you again in the very near future. All right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, family. May Allah bless you all.
May Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Family, we were absolutely blessed today to be with our brother again, the author of this book right here called In My Father's Steps. You can pick that up on Amazon. You can pick that up on HannibalMuhammad.com. A very beautiful, powerful book that will make you reflect on everything from your parental relationship with your child to parent relationship to relationship with God, your walk with God. This book is a powerful tool to use to get into self-reflection, as it's called, In My Father's Steps, self-reflection and lessons in my journey to Allah, because we all have to make that personal journey. Mama can't make it for you. Daddy can't make it for you. Your brothers can't make it for you. You got to make that journey to the Creator by whatever name that you may call him. You know what I'm saying? So with that, once again, we thank our brother Hannibal. And we're going to get ready to close this out because we're only a few minutes before we get ready for our next show. But we are going to bless y'all with just a little bit of outro music before we close out. Remember to be the best, because you are absolutely the best. Remember that we love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And continue to let the spark in your mind create a new reality. A little outro music, and then we're going to close out.
Y'all feel that?
All right, family. Assalamu alaikum.
All right. Wa alaikum salam, fam. Have an awesome